There's a shift in paradigms where things that once seemed to be correct or the acceptable way of conducting ourselves is no longer acceptable. The tables are turning. The tides are shifting. We are in an evolutionary shift, an evolutionary change. Accountability, breaking through the matrix, responsibility, forgiveness, a shifting of mindsets, healing, elevation and promotion. These are all words that's describing the occurrences that's going to take place during this time and in the time to come. We are all being called to elevate. And the one way that we elevate the most is to elevate in our being, to elevate on the inside of us, to elevate in our consciousness, to elevate in our mindset. And once we elevate in our mindset, in our consciousness, and our understanding of how things work and don't work and what it is and what it's not, those things start to take a root in your heart, and then will start to be outwardly manifested in your actions and displayed in your interactions and the things that you do and how you engage with other people and how you show up in the world and how you show up in your work and the work that you do. So everything is going to be defined, redefined, and then defined by what constitutes your being. And we have to understand and know that being always precedes doing. And before you can really do a thing, you have to understand what it means to be that which you want to do. And we're in a time where being is all about purpose and meaningful living. And how are we showing up to expand humanity, to expand love, to spread joy, to expand peace, to elevate your brethren, your friend, another fellow human? What does it mean to be a part of the collective? What does it mean to be a part of the shifts? And how are each one of us showing up to contribute to that shift? And then a lot of people are choosing not to show up at all, and that's fine too. I just keep hearing elevation, elevation, elevation. And everything I do, I have to ask myself, is this an elevated thought? Is what I'm doing an elevated way of being? And we have to understand that when we do the work for ourselves and on ourselves and in ourselves, we are essentially helping to change the greater collective. And despite what people think about outwardly causing change, change always starts with the individual. And change always happens at an energetic level. And in order to get something new and something different, something more expansion, there has to be a shift in energy, a shift in frequency. And that's what creates the change. Many people are asking for more downloads, more wisdom, more insight, but that only comes when you become committed and disciplined to achieving that. And so you have to spend time in, I'm going to say the word heart posture came up, but spend time in a space to create that type of heart posture to receive that which you are wanting to receive. And so it's hard to receive that when there's a lot of distractions, when there's constant moving. And so I'm hearing slow down. There's a requirement and a calling for you to slow down. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to do less while you could do less. But it means that you just have to take some time out. So carve some time out in your day, in your space, to be still, so that you can position yourself to receive that which you want to receive. But there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge to be downloaded from heaven. There's an infinite amount of wisdom and knowledge to be downloaded from heaven concerning anything that you have a question about, anything that you have a desire about. Greater, I keep hearing greater. Greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. So the greater one. Greater is the Spirit of God that resides on the inside of you than anything that you would ever face or have to endure that's externally. Our strength comes from within, and our strength comes from the connection that we have to God. And in order to endure the things that we are required to endure and the things that we're going to be required to endure to get to that next level, we're going to have to tap into our divine nature and really, really get grounded and rooted in who we are, who God created us to be. There is no other way. So there's this concept or theme in the Bible that talks about the wheat being separated from the tare. And so that's the season that we're in. So I can say it a little bit easier. I see like a sifter. So anything that's not solid will be sifted out. And I would say that now is not the time to have weak faith or weak strength or weak courage. And even if you start out that way, there is a process where you can increase your faith, increase your strength, and increase your courage. And that's what God wants us to do. Because we are mighty. We are mighty in God. And so the enemy is going to try to deceive you, however you define that, where it's actually evil opposition, demonic forces. There is such a thing as that. But also we deal and struggle with the enemy that's inside of us, the self-limiting beliefs and the self-limiting habits and the negative self-talk that we tell ourselves. So the enemy is anything that's opposing to the direction in which that God is calling you to, or anything that's opposing to your divine nature. So anything that's not for you, for your well-being, for your good, is considered an enemy or opposition. So however you define it, and you'll know the things that you're struggling with. But there's going to be lots of enemies of distraction. And so right now, God is teaching us. He's wanting to teach us how to recognize, to be able to discern, test, and distractions, Because in this season, in this dispensation, in this time, during this shift, we have to have an insurmountable amount of focus and faith. Focus and faith. And yep, that's all that was coming through. So God is a good God. God is a good God. And I'm so thankful for God's faithfulness and God's love and compassion. I can't say it enough. God's love and faithfulness and compassion towards us. And God just gives us everything that we need. Everything that we need on every level. God is matchless. And I'm thankful that we have the leadership that we have that comes from God, that will always guide us and direct us into all truth. Just thankful for that. Yes, indeed. So it's Friday. So y'all have a good Friday and a good weekend.